Okay. Hi, today we're meeting with Jill Penrod, and she's going to talk to us about her many, many, many books and her eclectic style of writing. She lives in the middle of Kentucky in the country, and well, I'll just let her talk. Jill, tell us about the kinds of books. I mean, what age groups and what kind of books do you write and that kind of thing first starts.
Okay. Mostly I write contemporary Christian romance. That's kind of my bread and butter. So that's where most of my readers are. I also love to write fantasy. So I have some fantasy out there and I really enjoy young adult. I have not found my audience yet for too many of my young adults, but I enjoy writing young adult Christian contemporary. So those are
Okay,
the big three.
okay. Do you have any books right there that you can show us? Like, do you
Actually,
have a new release recently?
I I'm always having new releases. And I
Okay.
don't have any physical copies of my newest releases.
Okay.
I'm very
Well,
slow
that's
about
all right.
getting that.
We can
But
look
here's a
into it.
couple. Here's one of my contemporary romances
Uh-huh.
called The 100 Days Miracle. I like that cover. Here's one of my young adults,
Uh-huh. Finding McHenry.
Finding McHenry.
Okay.
And then my newest, I have a novella series that I'm working on. And this is one of those, Straw Hats and
Oh,
Old Lace,
okay. What's that about?
what that's called. It is about this lady who owns this inn. It's a bed and breakfast. I was challenged by a friend to write some mystery because, I don't have enough genres already. And so this is a romance that it's 7 books. It's going to be 7 books and it has a light mystery strewn into the whole thing. So that was mostly just writing as
Looks
a
like it's
challenge.
like it's not current day. Was it in the past?
No, it isn't. It
Current day?
is contemporary, but this group of ladies sort of are a throwback to the past.
Oh,
They
okay.
started a club in high school
Okay.
about calm, slow living, peaceful living. They dress up, they wear hats. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's just fun. It's a fun series.
Uh-huh.
Some of them are serious, but this one's more fun.
That sounds good. So tell us about how is there anything, one book that maybe inspired you to write or made you the person that you are today? I mean,
Hmm.
other than the Bible, which we know can do that.
I read so much. I can't even tell you where I started. Although my love of writing probably started with a love of reading, and my mom loves to read, and we
Mhm.
would read together. So, she would find things that I could read. We read, no, I can't remember. Anne of Green Gables. We read the
Uh,
Anne of Green Gables books together. I really remember reading those with my mom.
yes, that's a
She would
great
read it and
one.
pass it on. And
I
so,
remember reading with my older daughter, The Borrowers. We read that
hmm,
together. That was
yeah.
fun. But Anne and Green Gables, we read, I think, well, I know we both read it, but I have one daughter who's an avid reader, just reads all the time, has like a library. And the other one just doesn't have time for it.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's fun, kind of funny. Whenever I would discipline them, I would like send one to their room, and she was like, "Fine with that. Just get a book." And the other
Yeah.
one was like,
Hmm.
"That was torture." But anyway, I digress. So have you always self-published, or did you do something before that? I know you had something over 60 books, or is that right?
Yeah. I have over 60 books. They're all self published. I
Okay.
started self publishing like 12 years ago.
But you were telling me before we started that you started writing the stories
I
before.
started writing. Yeah. I've been creating books always. I mean,
Okay.
I'm one of those kids when I was 5, I was stapling together paper and
Yeah.
making little books. So that's
Yeah.
just, yeah, I've always done that.
Yeah. My older daughter, the reader, said she did that too. And she had a story that's something about a princess who was an Indian and she was a ballerina. I can't remember, but I think that was the
Sure.
main thing. And then she had a little cartoon character thing that she did for a little while, a little cartoon, ooh and ah or something like that. Excuse me. But anyway, are you writing a book right now?
I am. Um, I'm writing a new series again because
Another new series?
another new series. I'm really bad about getting bored with what I'm doing and starting something else. Although I'm just about to release a new book from my biggest series. It's really the series that is most well known. It's the one that's going to show up on Amazon. If I ever just show up on your Amazon page, it'll be for this book. But it's called the Saint Ninian Sanctuary series. It's contemporary Christian romance, and it takes place on an island retreat center near Antarctica, so down around Australia, down there.
Oh,
I created. I mean, it's totally fake, but so I can deal with the staff and their relationships. I can deal with the guests and their relationships. There's just a host of things, and this island is kind of mysterious, and has a mountain, and it has all the
yeah. You just created this world.
yeah. I just created this world, and
Yeah. Wow. Great
so that's
imagination.
going to be my next release is book 12, I think, in that series.
Oh my. Okay.
So yeah, and
That's
people are
great.
always writing and saying, "Oh, I wish this place was real. We could all get a ticket and just go." I do too. I wish it was real too.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of write the other way. I write about real places and maybe even events, but I put fictional characters in there. I
Mhm.
write historical fiction, so
Yeah,
I'm not as creative as creating a whole world. I don't know if I could do that. I guess it could. I
I
guess you could
think you
just
could.
pretend and be there.
Yeah, I am way too lazy for real good history. I love to read
Well,
historical
that's
fiction
true. It
because
does
it's
take
just
sight. Like if you're going to do
amazes
that,
me the details,
you
and
have
I
to
want
do the
to do that.
research. And I
Yeah,
guess if you're making up a world, you don't really have to do that.
no, you don't. I minored in history.
Oh.
So my fantasy series, they're all based on some historical place, but so loosely based. One is kind of taken off the Aztecs, and one is sort of taken off ancient Japan, but I
Hmm.
call it lazy man's historical writing.
Okay. Okay. Well, other than writing, what do you like to do?
um,
Like, do you like to
there's
the
supposed to be
garden
something
or
other than writing.
paint or cook
I like
or
to garden. I 8 years ago we moved out into the country. We left Lexington, Kentucky, and so I dabble. I'm not a good gardener, but I like to be out there and
yeah.
yeah.
Do you have a favorite flower?
Um, no, although I have a pond in my backyard and currently it has water lilies blooming,
Oh,
and that maybe that's my favorite. When those water lilies bloom, that's just I get
magical.
excited.
Yeah. My favorite flower is iris. I love the iris.
Ah,
I think there's
yeah,
so many varieties of them. I ordered a bunch of them that I'm going to plant this fall.
yeah. They're too fast. They
Well, some
bloom
of
and
them
disappear
rebloom.
so quickly. I need to get some rebloomers because I
Yeah,
have
they
some
have
that are just
rebloomers.
here and gone. Whoosh.
Yeah, there's one that's called, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like forever. It like goes on and on. It blooms at least 3 times in its season. That's pretty
That's
good.
great because they are so pretty.
Yeah. So gardening.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, is there anything else that you would like to talk about your life? Anything?
About my life.
Do you have a family?
My family, yes. I live here well, I have 4 kids,
Uh-huh.
and 3 of them are out there in the world, and one of them is old enough to be out there in the world, but we're having a little failure to launch issue. So he's hanging out here, working from home.
Uh-huh.
I enjoy having him.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then my husband is here.
And you
So
homeschooled, right?
I did homeschool all the way.
Good.
Yeah,
Curious
that
what
was fun.
curriculum did you use?
All kinds.
Use different things.
I like I said, I'm easily bored. So I would use something for a year and then I'd move on to something else because
Okay.
I wanted to try something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've done a little bit of just about every curriculum that was out there.
Yeah. I do have a lot of homeschoolers in this like my subscriber base,
Mhm.
or even just Christian school people. So what would you let's see. What do you have like a words of wisdom for homeschooling? Like looking over the things that you did in the past and key things that you would if you were talking to somebody about whether they should homeschool or not, what would you tell them?
Um, Good question.
I did homeschool some. I didn't do it the whole time, but I did teach in the classroom too. Um, so I've done a mixture. My kids are like a product of a bunch of things.
That's great. Well, homeschooling is like that too. I mean, some of mine went to some co-ops and some didn't, and they just you can do whatever you want, which is great.
Yeah.
If I had one piece of advice, it would be to choose curriculum not only that you think is good for the kids, but that you enjoy.
Hmm.
Just because you're more likely to stick with it and follow through. I'm not the best at following through, but if I found a curriculum that really sparked me, I
Hmm.
could spark them.
Hmm.
But a curriculum that like seemed like the right thing, or it was the current popular curriculum, if that just didn't work for me,
Yeah.
it wasn't going to work for them,
Okay.
which is one reason I changed a lot, to
Okay.
just do things that kept me sparked.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, I will let you go and get you back to your writing desk. And we want to meet with you again sometime, well, at least on your website. I will post your website at the end, and everybody can go look there or on Amazon for her, Jill Penrod. And we will meet with you again later. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.